Welcome to my summer series. I'm Ryan, and this is the greatest travel companion the world has ever seen, Sarah. And right now we're in Sulawesi. It's an island in Indonesia. This is summer Indonesia. We're in the South Sulawesi capital, Makassar. It's the 5th largest city in Indonesia. This is our first real Indonesian city. It's about 2 million people live here, Sarah. Writer Joseph Conrad called it the prettiest and perhaps cleanest of all towns in the islands. Nowadays, it's not so pretty, a little grungier looking, but I gotta say, I'm loving the initial vibe, and I'm really, really loving the food. Keep watching. You'll see. Guess we got a lot of noise to compete with. Well, this is exciting. We're having our first breakfast in Macassar. We're eating pangset mie, which literally would mean noodles, dumpling noodles. So it's basically a soup with some meat. We're getting pork and chicken. Pork, that's right. Back on the pork train. Hard to find pork in Indonesia, but Macassar has pork. Even though, yeah, it is mainly due to the Chinese that live here. So this restaurant we're in is fantastic. It's pretty much exactly like the type of place I like to eat in. As you can see, all locals, a lot of people that actually love Chinese. This is Chinatown in Makassar. This restaurant's actually famous for this dish. It's called madya, and they say there's 3 restaurants in Makassar that does this dish perfectly, and this is one of them. We got some iced tea, we got some fried wontons. We actually stopped and got some coffee on the way here too.
This is my favorite thing. This is why I'm not ready to leave Asia yet.
Wow, that looks so good. It's beautiful. Beautiful, look at that. Isn't that amazing? We got the red braised pork on top. There's pork belly, like with the crispy skin. Wontons, there's chicken, like shredded up chicken. A little bit of soy sauce. I'm sure this is just sugar. Get these noodles stirred. I gotta eat this. These noodles are really good. They're freshly made, you can tell. There's something about noodles, like kind of a starchiness you get, almost like a, I don't know how to describe that.
Flowery.
Flowery is the word I wanted to use. I'm just afraid people would think, like, you know, I don't want to taste flour. How are the wontons? Wow, those wontons are really good. That's a head shake for, this is so good, I can't believe it. Pork belly. Yeah, it's definitely some like 5-spice flavor, but also a nice crispy crunch. The skin is super crisp. I love that this is a breakfast too. This place is only open until about lunchtime, I guess.
I think until they sell out.
Hello. Makassar's history as a port town is well documented. After breakfast, we talked to the owner a little bit, and he said that he's Chinese. He was born in Indonesia. His parents were born in China, and I asked him if there are a lot of Chinese people here. He said, "Oh yes, a lot of Chinese people in Macassar." There have been for years, but not just Chinese people, Malays, Arabs, Siamese, Indians, people from all over Asia have come here to trade for pearls, gold, copper, and spices like nutmeg and cloves. Spice trade plus a mix of cultures almost always means good food. We're about to sit down for lunch. Well, we just did sit down for lunch, and we're waiting for our food now. We're having Choto Makassar, a very special dish in this area. It's basically like a beef stew. I guess you'll see shortly. And this restaurant is really cool. It's really a local place. Okay. We got, these are the dumplings you eat with it. Yeah, it's like a rice dumpling kind of thing. And it comes with a variety of side dishes that should be showing up shortly. Let's try this broth. Oh wow, it's rich. It's like really, it's like gravy. It tastes a bit like gravy. Lime gives it a nice zing. We saw some other guy over there do it, so I did it. So this is essentially a stew, but it's got like nuts in it and like all kinds of weird like grainy things that we normally wouldn't put in stew. Sarah's not a fan apparently. And then there's a bunch of offal in it, like a beef offal, blood, liver, kidney, heart, brain, probably some tripe. There's some tripe right there. I'm not a fan of the kidney. So this stew almost, well, I'm sure it always comes with these little dumplings for dipping. So I can make these like little rice dumplings. That's good. The broth is actually really good. If you've had a kidney before, or liver, that kind of like middle, almost a metallic taste or something. You taste that in the broth. Not that strongly, but obviously eating a hunk of kidney, you taste it a lot. I'll finish yours.
While that bass booming, fear be the nuisance that's choking me more than nooses. Losing sense of direction, the way of losing the pressure. Drank a little more and maybe even gave me some.
From Canada. Canada. Yeah.
World is going hazy and I'm losing my mind. I'm the only one sticking by my side. Things are going crazy, you did it right. Baby, in my own, ride or die. By my side. By my side.
So in the 1500s, the Europeans came to Macassar and they did what they normally do. They took over, they stole a bunch of their goods, and they tried to make it like their own country. First it was the Portuguese, and then the Dutch came. They actually took control of this fort that we're in right now. It's called Fort Rotterdam. Obviously they changed the name of it. And it's a nice place to visit in Macassar, one of the bigger tourist attractions. We were accosted by a large group of men and women, locals, who wanted to take selfies with us. Probably took about 5 minutes, maybe about 20 photos, which tells you a couple things. One, there's not a lot of tourists in this town, and two, we're incredibly attractive people. Macassar is also famous for an oil that they made out of badu or bado nuts. It's an oil that men would use in their hair. It's extremely popular, so popular that it actually has an effect on something that you use every day. Yes, you. You know the little sheets of cloth that you find on the headrests of chairs, you find them on airplanes, maybe at your grandma's house. Well, those are called anti-Macassars. And they were invented because so many men were ruining the backs of their chairs because they had this Macassar oil in their hair. Another fun fact, the indigenous people in this area, they're called Buganese, and a lot of them were sea cucumber fishermen. They would go out in large fleets and just like sweep the ocean floors for sea cucumbers. And if they came across another ship, often they would loot it, steal all their stuff, maybe kill some people, basically like pirates. And for a long time, people thought that the term boogeyman came from these people, the Bouganese. I was so fucking scared of the boogeyman. Were you? Did you see that movie as a kid? Oh my god, the movie scared the shit out of me. The scariest experience of my life from a movie is the Boogeyman movie. I was young, but I mean, it scared the shit out of me. And it's dinner time, and we're down by the pier, getting fresh fish, hopefully. Fish, maybe some crab. Sarah's just translating the menu here.
Okay, well, I've got catfish, milkfish, snapper.
I mean, the choice is obvious out of those. Does the milkfish taste like milk? Of course, the seafood is fantastic here. Should be. We're right on the coast. Food has arrived. Let's see, we got a little bit of veg. Just comes with everything.
We can share this, right?
We got a red snapper. Actually, I don't know if it's red, but a snapper, deep fried. We got, this is like green mango. It's like really, probably pretty tart. Crab is supposed to be sweet and sour.
I'm going to use this spoon.
Yeah, I'm gonna use this spoon. Usually they would eat with their hands here. We got little bowls out so you can wash your hands. But
Ooh, that mango salad.
it's not really how we roll. Mango salad's tart?
I don't know if I would call it tart as much as I would call it blow your brains out spicy.
Oh, spicy.
This is hot as
Okay, I'm gonna try this. You said it's spicy?
yeah, man.
Very spicy. Oh, holy shit balls. Oh, super spicy. The spice and the sourness is good. Man, brutal. Best part of a fried fish. This part right here. It's like fishy, potato chippy goodness. Not a ton of meat on this guy.
Fingers.
Nothing beats a fried fish.
So this meal makes me swear.
That beautiful piece of meat.
How come people say they don't like the taste of fish?
I know.
Is it because they've had bad fish?
That's exactly what it is, I guarantee you. If you like fried chicken, you would like this. So we got 2 crabs here. 85,000 rupiah. That's, what was that? Maybe $5? Yeah, that's good. I'm not very good with crab. I usually don't eat it because it's
Well,
a pain in the ass.
I think you get better at crab as you get older. Maybe that's why old people like crab. They're so good about looking good.
Old people like crab? Is that the thing old people like?
When you're younger, you're like, what's the deal with crab? People are always ordering crab, and you're like, why would I want crab?
Fresh seafood by the sea. The only thing that would make it better. What? But in Macassar, they only sell beers in hotels, restaurants, and like bars, karaoke bars, discos, which is a real problem. Most restaurants don't sell it. It's a huge problem. Want to eat some crab, drink some beer. All done our meal. Oh man, I am stuffed full of crab. That meal took like an hour because the crab breaking down and everything. I'm stuck. We got our bill. Next stop, dessert. There's a specialty here. Everybody's eating it. There's about 150 stalls along the beach, so we gotta try it. And that would be grilled bananas. What's the damage?
180.
180, about 12 bucks. 12 bucks, 2 crabs, whole fish, some shredded mango, and some rice, and some drinks. Pretty good. Pretty good. It's happening here. What is it? It's Saturday? Saturday night. Saturday night along the promenade. We got dancing going on. And we got grilled bananas. Sang ep. I'm sure I'm butchering the pronunciation, but it basically means grilled bananas. But all these booths along here, and there's a ton of them. There's literally 150 apparently. You can see this guy here is grilling them up. They mush them down, they grill them, and then they put like a sweet syrup on top of them. You can get chocolate ones, you can get all kinds of toppings, but the traditional way is, I guess it's like a melted brown sugar maybe, something like that. Obviously, there's not many tourists here because everybody's very excited to see us all the time. And for some reason here, they would call you Mister. So they go, well, Mister, hey, Mister. And it just sounds funny to me. But it's also kind of cute. I know that word, chocolate.
Ordinary.
Keju. There's durian.
Cheese.
Cheese is keju. I'm gonna get the regular.
Yeah. Looks amazing.
Yeah, I like it. Well, I like that it's blackened almost a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like it's a dessert that men would like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nope.
Like, it's a dessert my dad would like.
Grilled bananas, your dad's kind of dessert.
No, it is. To me, in my mind. It's like a dad dessert. This is what my mom would make my dad on his birthday or something.
That's kind of shitty actually, but not mushy like you'd think a banana would be if it was heated up. It just depends on the banana, I guess.
Yeah, this is a different kind of banana.
Yeah, the little mini guys. Or no, they're not the little mini
They're
guys.
those kind. Like, those aren't good for eating on their own.
No.
It's like super pasty, like,
Yeah.
you know.
It's not possible to generate enough saliva to put it down. All right, breakfast number 2 in Macassar. This restaurant is just awesome. This is totally my shit. You go up at the counter, you order. They only really have one thing, and it's called, what is it called? Nyang. This is what we got. Soup, lots of meat in it. These are like rice dumplings. And then we got some fried stuff to go with it. Kind of reminds me of like a dim sum, but like in soup form, you know? So there's like all kinds of wontons. There's one wrapped in egg, deep fried stuff. Some of it maybe not so good. For example, looks like beef, maybe pork wrapped in bitter gourd. Bitter gourd is, it's exactly what the name is. It's a gourd that's super bitter, and I am not a big fan of it, but I'm gonna dip it in some hot sauce. Look at that, it's just beautiful. The most bitter thing in the world.
It makes your tongue shrivel.
I don't know how people enjoy that. It's just so potent. This broth is fantastic. It might be pork. Okay, here we got, it's almost like a cabbage roll. Piece of pork wrapped in cabbage. That's so good. There's shrimp inside this. There's shrimp inside this. We got our fried stuff here too. I'm gonna dip it in the soup. Gotta hit that perfect balance where it's got the soup on it, but it's not soggy, it's still crispy. Not really good. Not real good. Two types of sauce. This one here is a pepper, like it's hot pepper sauce. Almost reminds me of like a Frank's Red Hot. Some of these have little hidden treasures in them. Like this one has a mushroom inside of it.
Treasure.
Mushroom treasure. This is the best.
It's like a spring roll but flattened out. It's got pork in it, and onion.
Basically like an egg roll flattened. Egg, cabbage, onion, and a little bit of pork. So glad to be back on the pork train.
When were you off the pork train? We keep saying about pork.
We didn't have pork in the last 10 days. What was the last pork we had before we came here? Yeah, you sit there and think about it. I remember, because it's the type of things I remember. See, I have Alzheimer's all the time. Not when it comes to pork. Before we came here, last time we had pork was in Bali. The best pork ever. You should watch that video. Oh, here we go, okay. Kanro, you want sop kanro?
What's the difference?
I think it's soup or non-soup. I think that's no soup.
No soup.
Well, another busy restaurant full of hungry people. It's lunchtime. Super hot out today. We were sweating like crazy. Most people don't walk around here, so if other people don't look sweaty and we look super sweaty, it's not because we're animals or beasts or anything like that. It's because we've walked here about a 15-minute walk, but it's super hot out. So we're going for Conro. Pronunciation I'm not sure about, but it's basically beef ribs, and it comes in like this sauce. It comes with some rice, and it should be good. All right, here I am with all the spoils. I got some soup here, and some beef ribs, some rice, and I got a nice iced tea to cool down with. So this dish is originally beef ribs cooked in the soup, but they do a dry version now, and it's really popular. I think most people here are getting the dry version. But the soup has this ingredient in it. It's called talawak. It's a type of fruit that comes from like a mangrove tree, but it's highly poisonous. It has cyanide in it. So to get the cyanide out, they have to like burn it and like cover it in ash and then bury it in the ground for like 40 days and basically ferment it. And it gets all the cyanide out of it, and it makes it edible and pretty delicious. Kind of a dark gravy-like taste almost. These ribs, and they have kind of a satay sauce on them, kind of a peanut sauce. Let's bite into that. Good. 4 pieces here. You can see this thing sliding around on the bone. So it's just ready to fall off. Conro bakar, or you can get the sop conro, soup conro. Try it in Macassar, really delicious stuff.
Well, we found a great place to watch the sun go down with a cold brew, and that's it for Macassar. A lot of people blow through here and use it as a jumping off point for other places in the area, but I think it's definitely worth your time. The food was amazing, the place had a great vibe. We're close to finishing up our vacation, but make sure you tune in next video. I'm going to sum up traveling in Indonesia, and subscribe below, hit the thumbs up, and remember, it's unfortunate, but the truth of Macassar is that if you want some beer, you must go to a bar.